In this video, improve your English and gain experience by listening to a speech about an interesting topic.
Hi, I'm Eric. Welcome to We Do Topic Talks. Topic Talks is where I make a speech about an interesting topic so English language learners can get some experience listening to English. After you listen to my example, there are a few questions at the end of the video. Today's topic is genetic inheritance. Sometimes I like to ask my friends the question, who do you take after, your mother or your father? And when families are having conversations at holiday gatherings, I often hear people say, well, he takes after his mother, or, oh, he takes after his father. This expression, take after, is connected to the idea of genetic inheritance. To understand what I'm talking about, we should talk about how we become us. Where do babies come from? Well, the stork doesn't bring them. And in case you didn't know, they come from their parents. The genes that make you the way you are came from your parents. Half of your genes came from your father, and half came from your mother. Therefore, part of you might resemble your father, and part of you might resemble your mother. Oh, and blue jeans are made from denim, which is cotton. You're not made from cotton. That's a different kind of jeans. So don't get confused. Sometimes children resemble both of their parents, but other times they seem to resemble one parent more than the other. Sometimes a boy might look like his mother, for example, but not so much like his father. Then, in English, we say, he takes after his mother. And if a daughter looks like her father, but not so much like her mother, we say, oh, she takes after her father. But this expression, take after, isn't only related to appearance. It's about personality too, or habits. In other words, if you love reading as much as your mother, who loves reading, we might say you take after your mother. And if your father is clumsy or often has accidents, and you do too, then we might say you take after your father. Now, as I just mentioned, appearance and habits are the features that we think of when we talk about genetic inheritance. You may have black hair or green eyes, or maybe you're tall. And these features come from the genes you got from your parents. If both of your parents are short, you're probably not going to become very tall. Have you ever noticed that professional athletes often have children who become great athletes too? Genetic inheritance has a big impact on who we are. But we shouldn't just think about what's on the surface, what people can see. Genetic inheritance also affects the features we can't see. Now doctors are beginning to understand that a lot of diseases are inherited. That is, we get them from our parents. In other words, if a problem or illness is very common in your family, there's a good chance that you may get that same illness also. But if you get sick, it's not always easy to know if it's inherited. Actually, your environment and your habits are very important too. Some habits that make a big impact on your health are how much you exercise, what kind of food you eat every day, and where you live. If you have light skin like me, you may never get skin cancer living in Iceland. But if you live in Hawaii, be careful and wear a lot of sunscreen. Some inherited illnesses that are well known include heart disease, Alzheimer's, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, and obesity. Heart disease causes the heart to stop working well. Alzheimer's is a disease that causes the brain to stop working well. Arthritis affects the body's joints and can make it very painful to move. Diabetes is a disease that affects the amount of sugar in your blood, and it can cause many problems and even death. Cancer is the uncontrolled growth of cells anywhere in your body, and it's also very deadly. And obesity means you're too fat. It's normal to be a little fat, but people who have too much fat have obesity, and their lives are affected, and they can even die from it. These are just a few examples. Actually, there are many diseases that are inherited, passed on to you in your genes. So, as you can see, our appearance and abilities may be very noticeable since we see them every day. But the unseen part of genetic inheritance has a big impact on us also. But there's one more question that many people want to ask about genetic inheritance. Do we inherit our intelligence from our parents? Do we get our intelligence from our parents' genes? Well, the answer to this question isn't so clear. It seems like we might because scientists have studied twins who were adopted and who grew up with different parents. Sometimes their intelligence seems to match that of their real parents, and not the parents who adopt them. But that's not always true. It also seems that your intelligence might be affected by the way you're raised. It could be true that very smart parents give their children a lot of books to read and let them try many challenging and interesting experiences. Maybe good schools and a peaceful environment make children smarter. Personality might also affect intelligence. Curiosity, openness to experience, extroversion, and other personality features might also be related to intelligence. So, sorry, but this question just isn't that easy to answer. But if you're watching this video now, I think you must be a very curious and intelligent person who likes to learn. And the most important thing is that you want to learn, and you try to make yourself better by practicing and working every day. So, now I'll ask you this question. Who do you take after? Oh, by the way, if you like scary movies, which I love, there's a really good scary movie called Hereditary, and I think you should watch it. But only if you like scary movies. Hereditary is a word that's related to inheritance, and like I said, it means that you get your personality, your intelligence, and your problems from your parents. Anyway, check this movie out. Questions 1. Fill in the blanks with the correct expressions. Now we have a few questions for you to look at. If you would like to try to answer them now, you can pause the video and take a few minutes to think about it. Then, when you're ready, I'll show you the correct answers. Are you ready? Here are the correct answers. Number 1. In case you didn't know, you came from your parents. Number 2. Sometimes children resemble both their parents, but other times they seem to look more like one parent than the other. Number 3. Now, as I've just mentioned, appearance and habits are the features we think of when we talk about genetic inheritance. Number 4. But the unseen part of genetic inheritance has a big impact on us also. Number 5. Sometimes their intelligence seems to match that of their real parents,
and not the parents who adopted them. Questions 2. Match the words that have the same meanings. Here are a few more questions for you to try. Again, if you would like to think about them, just pause the video now and take a few minutes. Then, when you're ready, I'll show you the correct answers. Are you ready? Here are the correct answers. Number 1. Sometimes children look like, seem like, resemble both their parents evenly. Number 2. If a problem or illness is very common in your family, it's probable, it's likely, there's a good chance that you may get that same illness. Number 3. It's normal, commonplace, natural to be a little fat, but people who are too fat have obesity. All right, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope these videos are good practice for you. If you think it's interesting or helpful, please push the like button below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, if there's something you would like to hear me talk about in the future, just leave a comment. I'll see you next time. Thank you.